Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. So welcome devotees, and Guru Maharaj has been talking about the qualities of the spiritual master and how a disciple should best serve. So we'll continue on this topic from 11th canto, 3rd chapter. I will share my screen.
Verse 23. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
You can see the screen, Guru Maharaj?
Yeah, somehow I knocked it off. Put it back on again somehow. Wait. I don't know what happened here. I hit something and it went off.
Okay.
Can you do it?
Yes.
No. We get the full screen. This is a partial one.
I'm on the full screen, Guru Maharaj. Let me just stop share and share it again.
Yeah. Okay, then just start from scratch and do it again.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Now?
Yeah, but we're still getting the devotees are in the picture too.
Oh.
Before we had a full screen, but no, just the text.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, could you try to make your screen full screen, Guru Maharaj?
Let me see, how do I do that? Well, I'm just following whatever screen is up there.
Yeah, sometimes if your screen is full screen, then only you can see only the verse and yourself, Guru Maharaj. You can't see others. But if for us, it will be like this only, Guru Maharaj, when we are sharing.
I can't seem to figure out how to open it up to full screen. I don't know. Oh, there it is. We got it now.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Mataji, Shrimati Mataji.
Yeah.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Okay, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sarvatom Manaso Sangam. Adho Sangam Sasarusu. Dayamatrim Parasyam Cha. Bhutes Vyada Yato Chitam. Translation: a sincere disciple should learn to disassociate the mind from everything material and positively cultivate association with the spiritual master and other saintly devotees. He should be merciful to those in an inferior position to him, cultivate friendship with those on an equal level, and meekly serve those in higher spiritual positions. Thus, he should learn to deal properly with all living beings. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Let's see how long the purport is. Go down the page and then come back up. Okay, come back up now. Srila Madhvacharya has quoted from the Garuda Purana to demonstrate that within this universe, those who take birth as demigods, rishis, or pious human beings were all considered as Shanta or saintly persons. According to Bhagavad Gita, Triguna Visaya Veda, when ashram culture described in the Vedic literature deals mostly with the living entities who are struggling with the three modes of material nature. Vedic literature teaches such conditioned souls that material happiness can be achieved only through pious works. In this sense, the demigods are considered to be most pious living entities and within the three modes of material nature. The rishis are the great saintly mystics of the universe who are able to travel at will to various planets and who cultivate mystic powers are to be considered somewhat below the demigods. And those human beings on earth who perfectly execute the Vedic rituals are to be considered in the third or lowest category of Shanta or saintly persons. So we have three groups here, the great mystics that travel throughout the universes, the devas, and then the human levels, in category of gradation. But a devotee of the Lord is beyond the three modes of material nature. Lord Krishna says, Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityayitan brahmabhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service does not fall down in any circumstance, that one transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Thus, Lord Krishna clearly says that a Vaishnava who does not fall down from the regulations of Bhakti Yoga is beyond the three modes of nature. And Lord Krishna advised Arjuna, a Krishna Bhakta, to transcend the three material qualities of the illusionary creation of Maya. Nistrigona Bhavarjuna. But in the 18th chapter, 1840, the Lord says, Natat asti pritibham va Nividueshu vapuneyaha sattvam prakriti jar muktam yarebi syat trivi gunai. There is no being existing here or among the demigods and the higher planets who is free from the three modes of material nature. Thus, the demigods are not exempt from the pollution of the three modes of material nature, whereas the pure devotees actually become gunatita, or transcendental to the influence of Maya. Therefore, one should cultivate the association of Uttama Adhikari, a pure devotee of the Lord, as stated in 11.321. Tasmam Guru Papadhyetan Jigyasu Shrey Uttamam Sabde Parecha Nishnatam Brahma Upasrayasrayam. Therefore, any person who seriously desires real happiness must seek the bona fide spiritual master. To take shelter of him by initiation. The qualification of a bona fide guru is that he has realized the conclusions of all scriptures by deliberation and is able to convince others of these conclusions. Such great personalities who've taken shelter of the Supreme Godhead, leaving aside all material considerations, to be understood to be bona fide spiritual masters. And I think we just read that verse and we also spoke about it. So here it is mentioned again in this two verses later. On the other hand, one should avoid the association of materialistic person, even if such a person is outwardly chanting the holy names of Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami has advised in this respect, Krishneta yasya giritam manasandriyeta dikshasti ched pranatabis chad bhajatam misam Susrusaya Bhajanan Vigyan Anayam Manya Vedati Sunyam Rida Upsita Sangam Labhya. One may mentally offer respects to any living entity who is chanting the holy name of Krishna, but one should avoid intimate association with materialistic persons, especially those who are attached to sex enjoyment. Tamo dvaram yoshita sangi sangam. If one associates with such a sensuous person who is attached to the company of women, by such association one will surely go to hell. If a materialist person approaches a pure devotee with sincere desire to hear from him about spiritual improvement, the first-class devotee may mercifully give his associate, provide a purpose for the meeting, and give advancement in devotional service. That association materially becomes a pure devotee, If an advanced devotee is not able to engage material persons in devotional service, Krishna, such association is strictly avoided. Now we hear from the Garuda Purana. Visheshata Sovatmeshu Vina Sangam Namuchite Swanachesu Tudveveshu Vina Sangam Napuyate. Okay. So we're hearing from this particular section here more of the characteristics or behavior of a devotee of the Lord. The devotee has qualities and he also has behavior. Behavior usually centers around the qualities they exhibit. If you have certain qualities, then you exhibit those qualities in a particular way, and that is the behavior or how you act in different situations. And what is emphasized also is the association with materialistic people. To avoid that association, because that association will bring one away from Krishna consciousness. But if one can associate with or give association to such materialistic persons, then that is a great service because it raises up that person towards devotional service, and it purifies one's existence by engaging in preaching the message of Krishna. So to avoid association with materialistic persons means to get involved with something on their level. But if you're trying to bring them to your level, in other words, instead of taking their association, you give your association. You have to see that same thing from two different angles. Are we associating with them, or are they association with us? Their association with us will help them to move forward towards Krishna in devotional service. And our association with them will cause us to come down from our spiritual platform. So it's the same person, but in one situation, one is trying to elevate, the other one is trying to enjoy. And that enjoyment is strictly forbidden. Because, as Lord Chaitanya said to Sanatana Goswami, when Sanatana Goswami asked, what is the first business of one in devotional service? He said, At Satsanga Tyagya a Vaishnava Achar. Asat Sangha. Sat means eternal. Asat means temporary. To associate with those persons who associate with the temporary material energy will bring devotees down. So therefore, the first business is to get rid of that association and give up the asat and take the sat. Because one has to have association with others according to one's direction in life. And you see that. People associate with people who have similar interests, similar professions. And that is natural. Inspiration comes with that. Ideas come from that. And it's a platform actually where happiness can at least appear to some degree. But the real association is with Krishna. And therefore, in order to get that, one has to associate with those who are associating with Krishna. So in the very beginning of the verse, it mentions three categories of people. Now there's a similar verse, there's actually two similar verses, one in the 11th canto, which is, I'm sorry, this is the one in the 11th canto, but there's also one in the 4th canto, where it talks about three levels of interaction. What is those three levels? Those devotees that are superior to us, those that are equal to us, and those that are in a lower position. I think we discussed this the other day, as it was mentioned also, and that is for those in a higher position, we hear from them and we render personal service if possible. For those in the what we call the ordinary platform, those who are a materialist, but in a what we say pious way, then association with them means to develop relationships. And those who are on the lower level, we try to raise them up. So that is the proper way to give association. You have to see that the Krishna conscious devotee is trying to give association. He may have to take something, give it, but ultimately the goal is to give in such a way that one can advance in the process of devotional service. And of course, those who are on a lesser platform, try to raise them up. So, and it mentions in that verse that those who do not follow this, who follow the materialistic concept of these levels of association, ultimately go down in life. Even in the material sense, they lose their position in the material sense. But spiritually, this is where we are interesting because we don't want to do anything because of the devotee too. Sarvasanga, sarvasanga, sarvasastri. So association is very, very important. And how we associate is given here. And what to avoid. So Rupa Goswami emphasizes these principles of proper association and carefully avoiding that association which is asat sangha, or that which is contrary to devotional service. We find ourselves in situations where we have relatives, friends, and work colleagues there, and then we find ourselves having to get involved with some kind of conversation that is not beneficial. So we should try to avoid that. If it's about the work itself, that's unavoidable, but keep it on that level. In other words, business as usual. But on a personal level, if we have to go on that level, then try to raise them up in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has emphasized that whoever you meet, give them Krishna. Whoever you talk to, tell them about Krishna. Teach them the importance of chanting the holy names of the Lord. And that's a great service. Because people are looking for something solid in their life and they can't find anything. So in that attempt to find something, they may become very inclined to Krishna consciousness. Okay, so these are some points in this. Let's go back to the very beginning of the verse area and let's see some of the other points that are being made. Okay, it also says that even though one is chanting the holy names of the Lord, if they are not practicing devotional service, then their association should be avoided. Of course, that's a controversial statement because we think that, well, here's somebody who's chanting, that means they're a devotee. But then there are, if they're actually chanting, they'll be inspired to associate with devotees and render service. As Prabhupada explained, that the meaning of the Maha Mantra when we chant is, my dear Lord, please engage me in your devotional service. So we're asking the Lord for service when we chant the holy names of the Lord. And if we don't accept service, or if we avoid service, then our chanting really has very little, or if any, meaning, because chanting is a petition towards Krishna to ask Krishna, to beg Krishna, please connect me with you in devotional service. So behind the chanting, there is actually and a prayer that is going on. And sometimes we make the prayer directly, but it's there whether we make it or not, because the chanting of the holy name is asking for service. Okay, so let's see if there's any comments or questions.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. It was very nice talk on the association. Really reminded us how important the association in our life and the devotional service. The devotees, please don't miss the chance. If you have any questions, comment, realizations, please unmute yourself and ask. It will be nice to take all of your darshans as well. So if you can keep your cameras on. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Namrata Mataji, yes, you can go ahead. Okay. Mataji, you're on mute. Mataji, you're on mute. Namrata Mataji.
I'm sorry. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, I have one question from yesterday's class. If it is fine, may I ask?
Is it related to Guru disciple?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. It is related to one question which Radha Bhakti Mataji was asking. So it is in line with that. So you mentioned in yesterday's class, Mataji, in yesterday's class that we should offer everything to Krishna except for our sinful activities. So for sinful activities, we should take surrender, or I mean, we should take responsibility of our sinful activities.
You should give them up. You should give them up. That's what it means. You don't want to frame them or somehow or other keep them around. You just stop. That's all. Give up the sinful activities. Yeah.
But if the sinful activities are already performed, then I think we should take the responsibility of it, or rather, I would ask, how do we get rid of those sinful activities? Because
devotional service itself will purify the reactions of sinful and pious activities. All you have to do is stay in devotional service, and the results of all your previous karma, whether it's pious or impious, is gradually being burnt up by the fire of transcendental knowledge, which comes in connection with the process of devotional service. So nothing you have to do separately. You just engage in devotional service. That's all. It's automatic. Just like when you clap your hands, if you are outside, there may be some birds in the area. So the clapping of the hands will also cause the birds to fly. So the power of devotional service will eliminate the reactions of our sinful activities automatically. But Yeah, the only point we have to consider is not to continue to do those sinful activities. But there's no way you can rid yourself of the reactions unless you engage in devotional service. It happens automatically. That's mentioned in Nectar Devotion. If devotional service can't get rid of your reactions of pious and impious activities, then you won't be able to execute devotional service because those reactions will cause you to become deterred from the process of devotional service. That's why when the initiation, the spiritual master takes your karma. Why? Otherwise, you can't execute devotional service, still carrying all the reactions of your sinful and pious activities with you. It becomes much of a burden. It's not possible. So just engage in devotional service and stop sinful activities. That's all.
Okay, Maharaj. So just a sub question to this, Maharaj, that I think almost you have answered, but one doubt is there, that if one has already performed the sinful activities, and if the person is realizing it, he'll do the devotional service, but there will be a following of guilt with it. So will that be eradicated along with devotional service that we are performing?
Power devotional service, it works in that way. Yeah, it uproots. It's mentioned over and over again, Nectar Devotion. It uproots the reactions of pious and sinful activities, both, not just sinful, but pious activities. Because even the pious activities can cause one to become distracted from devotional service. Yeah, this is the power of devotional service. It's mentioned. That's one of the main principles. If you simply read Nectar Devotion, you'll come across that continuously.
Okay, Maharaj. Thank you.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything separate.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Krishna.
Thank you, Namrata Mataji. Any other question? Yes, Nath Prabhu, Vrindavan Nath Prabhu, please go ahead.
No.
Nath Prabhu, we can't hear you. Maybe your volume is very low.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can
Yes.
you hear?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, after hearing this today, I got this one basic doubt, because so far my understanding of treating anybody as a devotee was that at least that person has chanted or chanting Mahamantra, then that person should be qualified as a devotee and we should associate, or we can associate. But in today, as Prabhupada has mentioned, that if person is even chanting but materially attachment is there, we should not have that association. So how to really distinguish that? Because many times it's very difficult.
The Mayavadis also chant Hare Krishna. Materialists also chant Hare Krishna in order to improve their material life. But that chanting doesn't elevate them spiritually. It becomes just something that they do thinking that they will be benefited, but there's no benefit in it. Krishna's name is non-different. Krishna knows the reason why you're chanting. I mean, if there's obviously, you may become a little bit, that person may become a little free from the reactions of material activities, but they don't get any any gain in spiritual life, because it's the motivation. What is your motivation? To serve the Lord, to purify the heart, to associate with the Lord. But if the motivation is to improve material life by chanting Hare Krishna, then that means the material life is the most important thing in their life, and therefore they're materialists, even though they're chanting Hare Krishna.
But how to distinguish, Guru Maharaj? Like,
We have to distinguish. As there's different statements in this regard, but it even says that, a devotee who is fixed in Krishna consciousness will avoid the association of a devotee who is simply chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in order to improve his material situation. If he can change the person, that's not associating with that person, that's giving association.
thanks, Guru Maharaj.
That association is called doya. Doya means mercy, as opposed to equal levels of association. We want to associate with other devotees in order to get inspired in our Krishna consciousness. So we associate with those devotees who are on the same level. And for those higher up, we serve them and hear from them. Those who are lower, we offer our association by trying to raise them up. It says if you live in this way, you'll never be disturbed by the effects of the material energy. It's all based on proper association.
One more question as well.
Yeah.
I really like the sentences you said. We shouldn't come to the level of materialistic people, materialistic devotees, to preach to them. And in my kind of a practice, I'm trying to kind of connect with them by trying to speak with topics that they are maybe interested, and in this way kind of build some trust between it. You have some kind of a comment, because it looks like it's conflicts with the sentence you said.
It looks like it's what?
That it's opposite to the sentence you said, that we shouldn't speak about the topics they are interested. And I'm trying to
speak about what topics?
So let's say if I meet someone, I would like to preach with him, I will maybe try to first develop a relationship with him by speaking topics that maybe he's interested in, like cars or video games or whatever, just to kind of get into the mood, and then kind of build trust and show that we are also human beings, and so that they can relate to us. So is that wrong, or is there kind of a measure? If you do it like a little, then it's okay. If you're doing it constantly,
it's wrong if you go down.
Okay.
If you can bring them up, it's not wrong. But if you can't, and you're going to be affected by that, then you should avoid that.
And what is can you give us some examples of how to raise the people? higher to the higher realms, especially the materialistic people?
Yeah, we do it all the time. You go out on Harinam, right? In Zagreb,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
And when you're out there, you distribute books, you distribute flyers to invite people to the temple. Sometimes you distribute cookies and various forms of prasadam. These are all ways.
Cool, cool. So we are already giving them something that they don't do usually, and making them interested to do that, not to come to their level. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, if you come to their level, if a doctor has to get sick in order to understand what the disease is, then what's the use?
Thank you.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Satyabhama, you look awake.
Yes, I am awake.
I'm falling asleep and you're awake. We both went to bed the same time last night.
More tired, Guru Maharaj. I've done nothing.
You went to bed after midnight, right?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
Any other?
South London weekend.
Yes, South London weekend, Guru Maharaj. I have a question, Guru Maharaj.
Okay.
So about the association, as you know, like I have been like meeting few new families from last few months, and it's funny that one of the family who has been coming, like they don't come to the temple, and from last 3 or 4 programs, house programs, and they have been coming home, and very nice husband and wife, and so the husband, he runs every Saturday this program where they read Hanuman Chalisa, and they read Gayatri Mantra, and they do meditation on Om. And in an hour session, in the last 10-15 minutes, they read one shloka of Bhagavad Gita and they just discuss between them. And this person, because he's been now, I'm asking them to come, also they're coming. So now he's expecting me to join his session and listen to his talks. So I was wondering, what should we do in such situations when people think that, they want to run their own programs and they think they know.
No. We're inviting them to our programs. You don't have to go to their programs. Yeah. Just say no. So, we're offering them a chance to come up. We don't want to go down. Om is included in Hare Krishna. Tell him that. If he chants Hare Krishna, he's chanting Om already. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what else does he do? What kind of, does he eat meat?
No, they are proper fully vegetarian, and that's all. But he's the head of this program. Like he runs this session. So every time he comes, at the end when we read Bhagavad Gita, he starts his own, a talk, and
So he can have his own program. That's fine, and we have our program. If he wants to come to our program, he can benefit. We don't need to go to his program in order to patronize our program.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then
I'm just talking how Prabhupada would answer it. I know Prabhupada would say the same thing.
Yeah, they invited me yesterday again, so I was just not sure what to do. I was literally, I thought and this is really good that, today again, we're talking about the association and take association or give association. So it's really good point to, discuss this.
Tell them we're worshiping we're worshiping Ram, who is the worshipful deity of Hanuman. So you're worshiping Hanuman, but we're worshiping Ram, which are both good.
Yes.
So tell them we're already past what you're doing. That the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the highest form of worship in this age. And since he seems to be somewhat shastric, you can discuss with him Shastra. You can present Krishna consciousness and show that what we're doing is already, what he's doing is already included in what we're doing.
Yes.
You know, for Prabhupada said, don't make friends with a fool, but you can make an enemy. You can make an intelligent person your enemy. Because if you make an intelligent person your enemy, he won't do harm to you because he's intelligent. But a fool, if you make friends with a fool, then he can do all kinds of harm.
Yes.
So he's intelligent. So invite him. If he doesn't come, then let him go. What can you do?
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. That helps a lot. Srimati Mataji, you have a question. I think you can go ahead.
Yes, Mataji, thank you. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, in our discussion with other devotees, we got a question that we chant, we do all our devotional activities and we associate with devotees. But sometimes if we go out and associate with any other friends or family who are not following this path, suddenly we also mingle with them and forget Krishna, and after our mind will be disturbed after coming back from their association. So how to handle that type of situations, Guru Maharaj? Like you said, like we have to give our association, not take their association. I understand that, but practically how to do it, because we can't avoid these type of associations sometimes.
Try to remember Krishna when you're there. If you're remembering Krishna, you're protected, and you're able to maybe also give them Krishna if you're remembering Krishna. But if you forget Krishna, then what are you going to do? You're going to go down. If you forget Krishna in your house, you may not go down because the environment is friendly. But if you forget Krishna in an unfriendly environment, then you could easily go down.
So I was thinking, like, when our devotional service is strong enough or our chanting is strong enough, then maybe it will help us to remember Krishna all the time, even
right.
outside.
Yeah. A devotee doesn't forget Krishna no matter what situation they're in.
Yes.
They may have to deal with the situation, but they remember Krishna. Just like yesterday, I was put into a couple difficult situations. And I just chanted, that's all. What could I do?
And Guru Maharaj, one more thing. Like yesterday, I heard your class in Bhaktivedanta manner in the morning, Srimad Bhagavatam class. You mentioned about the purity of mind and speech. So the speaker should have purity when they are speaking. But what like neophyte devotees like me, when I'm trying to preach or when I'm trying to give class, I feel that I don't have that much purity at all. So what would be your suggestion in this?
No, Prabhupada never says you can't speak about Krishna. He says anyone can speak about Krishna. Yeah, but we're talking about the having the attention. That's the purity. It says that one cannot give rapt attention who's not pure in mind.
Yeah.
And one who's not pure in mind cannot be pure in action. But then again, one has to be pure in eating, sleeping, making, and defending, and then one can give rapt attention. And so we're talking about focusing the mind on the process of hearing. So you can't continue to hear with complete absorption if you're not pure in mind or you're pure in action. But that action is manifested, as it says. You can read it. It's in the Bhagavatam. It's in the first canto, third chapter, verse number 44 in the purport. It's either 44 or 43, but I think it's 44 in the purport. It says, yeah, somehow or other, focus your mind. That's all. So no one's restricted to talk about Krishna, but you have, the more you are purified, the more the words will have an effect. But anyone can speak about Krishna. Sometimes even non-devotees speak about Krishna, and when they say something about Krishna to another non-devotee, it has some effect. So, yeah, speak about Krishna, but yeah, and you will become purified. You become advanced by doing that. And Prabhupada said, whatever you know, just repeat. That's all. Whatever you've heard, just repeat. And but when you actually develop your Krishna consciousness in a more organized way, then you can hear what someone says and you can repeat it in your own words without changing the essence. So continue. No, it's not that we discourage anyone from speaking about Krishna.
Yeah.
But know that purity is force. And the more you become pure, the more it'll affect others. But in any case, it's always beneficial to speak about Krishna, both for the speaker and for the hearer.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, thank you so much. And you made a very nice point in the class that and actually Chintamani Mataji, she was mentioning about the discussions like Chintamani Mataji, when she was talking to you in the class yesterday, she was telling that discussions will help us to get more realizations and know about the purports more. She was mentioning that, and I too
something happened to your voice went off.
Oh, sorry,
again. There's
I'll
some
repeat
kind
again.
of echoing sound that came up. Start again.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. So yesterday in the class, when at the end when you are having discussion with Chintamani Mataji, so she was mentioning that discussions will help to get realizations and know more about the subject matter. So that also, I also agree about that, and I also feel that because previously when we had reading calls of Chaitanya Charitamrita and everything, so we used to discuss a lot and talk about Krishna and everything. So that's what.
That's the verses in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse number 9.
Yes,
you read that verse, it just illustrates that point. Bodhyantas prasparam katyantas chimam nicham tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Tushyanti and ramanti, great happiness, great satisfaction in hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord in association with others. That includes discussions also.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Very nice class. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Sri Devi.
Please accept my humble obeisance, Guru Maharaj. All glory to God. I was just mulling over what Satyabhama Mataji was saying about, what to do in certain situations. They want something, they want to do something and all. I was remembering that in Ljubljana, I was invited to a program where the hostess declared that because all newcomers are in the program, she doesn't want to hammer them with Krishna conscious philosophy. She doesn't want to bang their eardrums with a big, loud, noisy kirtan. So there will be no kirtan. There will be all indirect talk of Krishna consciousness. And she invited me to do the program. I said, I cannot do any program where there's no kirtan and there's no talk about Krishna. Sorry, you have to find another speaker. And suddenly she had a change of mind. She said, no, no, you come. You can do a short kirtan. I can speak just a little bit. That's all. So I said, okay. And we did do a short kirtan and I spoke a little bit. And later on, those newcomers said this was one of the best evenings. They said they felt so much love simply hearing the holy name. So this is Srila Prabhupada's program, give people the holy name, do kirtan, talk about the philosophy, then prasadam. I don't think we need to deviate anything from this because it's the best program that Srila Prabhupada has given us.
Yeah, he's a pure devotee. He knows what to give you. If you have faith, whatever Prabhupada says works. And he showed by example, because he spread Krishna consciousness single-handedly all around the world. And so the example is there by his own life. Now, if you take his words, you will benefit and learn how to apply them in each and every circumstance. So yeah, it's commendable that you actually refused to give a program that was not, Krishna conscious. What benefit would anybody have? It's waste of time. So. Did you hear that?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. I want to be true to Srila Prabhupada. I want to be true to the words of my Guru Maharaj. I want to follow the Guru Parampara. I don't have ideas about anything because what do I know? I know nothing. I just want to simply follow. That's all.
We don't have to compromise, but in certain cases, when we judge the audience accordingly, we can present the same knowledge that will be understandable to them. Like sometimes I give a class on sound, the power of sound. And then we end up with chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So we talk about sound, we talk about speech, the effects of sound, effects of speech. Or I give a seminar on the mind, we talk about the mind, and we talk at the end, we talk about the best way to control the mind is through engaging the mind in mantra. We speak about mantra as a way to fix the mind in the spiritual realm, and then we get right to the essence at the end. We just talk about the Maha Mantra. Yeah. So you can always lead up when the audience is less direct, but don't eliminate.
I still have to learn that art, Guru Maharaj, of bridge preaching. I think I'm just too direct, just as it is sort of a person. So I'm not sophisticated enough now, at least not yet. I have to learn more, I think, the philosophy and scriptures and gain better understanding so that I can reach a variety of audiences. So maybe I may come across as fanatical or die-hard or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, this is where I am at the moment.
Well, you take your profession. You're a counselor. So when you counsel, you don't give everything to each person when you first give them the class or you first give your counseling meeting. You see their situation and you take them one step at a time. Same thing.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. I think I have to learn to practice that art when it comes to preaching also.
Yeah.
Thank you for
You've done it before.
pointing.
Thanks, Sridevi Mataji. Sudha Mataji?
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Danut Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for the very nice class. I have a question about association. So Guru Maharaj, my question is oh, sorry. Is it okay? Is it better now? Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj, is it okay? Oh, sorry. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. So my question is about association. Is it important first to identify our own anarthas? Because sometimes even though we are in our devotee associations, so if you don't have a personal endeavor to identify our own anarthas, will we get benefited still by devotee association?
Yeah, obviously. But sometimes we do, we can see our own anarthas. First, we have to know what an anartha is. Before you can identify whether you have one, you have to know what is an anartha. But you can do it without association. It's easier in association because it becomes revealed to you. But even when you're by yourself or you're in your own sadhana, you can also see what is your anarthas. Just like if you're trying to chant and your mind is going everywhere. That's an anartha. It's due to too much material attachments, that's all. And the mind becomes too restless to control. Generally, unless you're sleepy, that's another thing. But generally, if you're rested and your mind is just all over the place, then that means we still have too many material desires and the mind cannot focus on Krishna. But you can still practice chanting. Don't let the anarthas bother you. Focus on the positive. Prabhupada would always emphasize that bring in the sun and the darkness goes away. It's not that you have to, get your searchlight out and try to chase the darkness away. Just bring in the sun of Krishna.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. I like the point, focus on the positive. So I should not worry much about the anarthas, instead just focus and read and everything will go away automatically.
Yeah, that's the essence, yeah. But if you see an anartha, then you have to think, well, I shouldn't try to feed that anartha by allowing it to remain.
Yes, Guru.
You just let it go.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Sudhamataji. Guru Maharaj, there is a question in the chat, and it's from Nuria Mataji, Nuria Kanijan. Mataji saying...
That's Janava.
Oh, sorry, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
That's Janava, yeah.
Oh, Janva Mataji, okay. So she's saying, can we consider reading Srila Prabhupada books like Sadhu Sangha?
Say that again.
So she's asking, can we consider reading Srila Prabhupada books like Sadhu Sangha?
Yeah, Prabhupada said that also. But not in replacement of Sadhu Sangha. It's just another feature of Sadhu Sangha.
I think Mataji.
There's a one indifference in that.
So she's asking why.
Why what?
Why is not?
It is association. It is Sadhu Sangha. But it's not in replacement of regular Sadhu Sangha. It's along with Sadhu Sangha. I mean, there are people who don't have association, and therefore, if they read the books, they can get the association. But it's not like, well, I shouldn't search out association because I got the books. No. read the books and take association with devotees both.
She's saying, okay, yes. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Okay, so we can stop here.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, we've crossed past 1 hour, so we can stop here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Guru
Maharaj, I
Maharaj.
want
Thank
to
you so
announce
much.
tomorrow's class, Guru Maharaj, with your permission.
Thank you. Tomorrow we have a special class with the devotees from Detroit. It begins at 12:15 rather than 12.
Sorry, Guru Maharaj, it's 1:15 UK time, Guru Maharaj. It will be 8:15 a.m. Eastern.
It's
which will be-
1:15 UK time.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Oh, yeah, that's right, 1:15. So it's an hour and 15 minutes later than
Yes,
UK
Guru Maharaj.
time.
So the
Okay,
verse will be Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 17th chapter, 21 and 22 verses.
yeah, okay, I got that.
I messaged you, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, make sure all the devotees have the Zoom link,
Yes,
because
Guru
maybe
Maharaj,
some of them
I'll
don't
share.
have that. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll share now, Guru Maharaj.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, anybody who doesn't have the Zoom link, I can also connect with Srimati directly. Put your email available, because I see there's some new people that come on. They probably don't have that Zoom link, nor do they have your connection. So send your connection there.
I will give you my email address on the chat if anybody.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow with Srimad Bhagavatam 3:17, 21, and 22.
Jai. Thank you. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for your time and association.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.